let's get to Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday. Eric, I'm going to throw this over to you. It's in theaters, digital, and on demand on Friday, October 14th. Number two, it's a Scott Adkins film. What is this movie very quickly about, and would you recommend it to the lay viewer?
All right, Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday is a sequel to Accident Man, the Jesse V. Johnson joint. This one is not directed by Jesse V. Johnson, but it has a couple of returning characters from the first one that didn't die in the first one. This one's also feels like more of a comedy than the last one did.
Wait, is that a good thing first of all, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And did you miss Jesse V. Johnson this time around?
I did miss Jesse V. Johnson. I'll get to that in a second, but the comedy really worked for me. Just comedy is subjective. The stuff I find funny is the stuff that usually makes Bruce roll his eyes, so we'll see what he thinks of this. I thought this worked pretty well as an action comedy, probably more so as a action movie, or more so as a comedy than an action movie, because, and this goes with the Jesse V. Johnson. I like how Jesse V. Johnson shoots action. But anyway, the action scenes are great because anytime you got Scott Adkins, and because I'm not prepared at all. Hitman.
Well, Eric's pulling that out. Bruce, Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday. I don't know, you've never seen Accident Man. Are you going to go back and watch the first one after watching this sequel?
I would be interested. So that's a good sign, I guess. But I also would say so I jumped in and this is a sequel and I didn't need like a refresher. I didn't need to figure out what was going on. So it's pretty basic as far as like, okay, he's a hitman. He's literally on a holiday, kind of. And there's some people we're going to meet along the way and we're going to get a story. And yeah, you can figure it out without having the background. Although I could tell there was a couple characters that came in like, okay, they give teeny little flashbacks of like something that happened in the first one. So I know that okay, those guys had a little history I would probably be slightly enriched by knowing, but I don't think it was necessary at all.
The Accident Man is back this time around and he must beat the top assassins in the world to protect the ungrateful son of a mafia boss, save the life of his only friend, and rekindle his relationship with his maniacal father figure. It co-stars Ray Stevenson. I feel horrible that I missed out on this movie. Eric Holmes, how was Ray Stevenson in this movie? Is he, I'm assuming, maybe the bad guy or maybe the good guy? I don't know. I'm clueless.
He was in the first movie. He's like the
handler.
So in the first movie, he's like the head guy that gets he's the guy that hires the assassins to go on jobs. In this one, Scott Adkins and Perry Benson, who plays Finicky Fred, they kind of meet each other across the pond and they kind of start doing jobs over there. And then so Ray Stevenson's the guy that comes in and is like, oh, you guys are doing the work without me. What the hell is this? So he feels kind of betrayed a little bit. And then you'll get into the story of what all that means and how that I don't know how much of this is a spoiler. I don't think it really matters too much because a lot of these type of movies, you're there to watch the action. And in this case, the story is there to hang a bunch of jokes and a bunch of action on it. And so that's why, it's kind of a cheeseburger type movie. And I also wanted to point out Sarah Chang, her character in this is freaking hilarious. Scott Adkins, or Mike Fallon is the character's name, but I like to call him Scott Adkins because I love him so much. But Mike Fallon hires Sarah Chang's character to basically beat him up. I guess whenever he does a hit on someone, murders someone, he likes to have her beat him up because it kind of centers him somehow. She's fucking awesome in this. She's kind of an asshole, but like a funny asshole, and it's a really great character. In fact, this movie has a bunch of great characters. I think Bruce, maybe in the chat, didn't you compare it to like Mortal Kombat or something like that?
Yeah, either Mortal Kombat or maybe Street Fighter. I think Mortal Kombat's probably a better comparison because how every time a new like bad person, bad guy nemesis comes up to face him, they kind of have the little cut like animation of that character and they introduce them as whatever they are. And then you have like a battle and there's even finishing moves, which I was kind of surprised by these kind of gory finishing moves. I'll throw it back to you. But one thing I was going to mention is I believe and I would say Sarah Chang. Yes. Exclamation point. Sarah Chang's amazing.
Yes.
You were saying that she almost stole the show for you.
Almost. I mean, she probably because I wasn't expecting her, you know what I mean? I was expecting him, but I wasn't expecting her to be much. But she gets a lot to do in here. She kind of plays a role similar to, if you remember the really old Pink Panther movies, where Inspector Clouseau would have himself every movie he'd get surprised by, I think it was Kato, would surprise him and sneak fight him every different movie. And it's kind of an homage to that. But she can really fight really great in this movie. And I was looking at her action reel offline and I was going, wow, she has been in a lot of great things, so I'll have to look out for her in other stuff. But yeah, I'll go ahead, Eric. You continue.
Very good, Bruce. Kato Fong. Kato Fong is the name of that Pink Panther character, Bruce. Very good. So Eric, you were saying?
So anyway, I guess the only thing I would have against this movie. It's not a big one. It's just why I probably would have loved to see Jesse V. Johnson come back was that the fights in this are really good, but I think I like Jesse V. Johnson's kind of eye for that a little more. The fights in this one were shot kind of really showy. That's not really my style when I'm watching action movies. I like the camera back and locked in. They do wonderful choreography in these things, so it's great when the camera just kind of gets out of the way, and it doesn't really do that in here. The camera's a little too showy for my taste, but the action scenes are still really cool. The fights are really cool. The characters are awesome. I think this one has a lot more personality than the one before it. These are kind of like the stuff I didn't like about the first one I liked in this, and the stuff I didn't like in this I liked in the first one, so these two kind of marry each other pretty well, I think.
Sounds like a pretty good marriage. What is your rating on this, Eric Holmes? Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday.
This is 3-star banger. If you're in for this sort of thing, you're gonna love it. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you start loving Scott Adkins like I do. I don't know what's wrong with you.
What about you, Bruce? What's your rating on Accident
I
Man?
am exactly the same. I'm a 3-star banger. If we're saying what 3-star bangers are like, it knows what it is and it does it well. I think that's what this movie is. I would also just slightly disagree in that, me, I'm not really, this is not my genre so much. But, well, first of all, Scott Adkins has been kind of hitting it out of the park for me as kind of a lay action person. And I think this could have a little more broad appeal because, like I said, it is almost like a really fun, almost video game movie with action. It's a little more accessible, I feel like, than some action movies might be. And like you said, the showiness of it might make it a little more accessible too. People can easily grab onto this. I think it's a lot of fun.
Okay, that is Accident Man, Hitman's Holiday, in theaters, digital, and on demand, headlined by Scott Adkins again. And that's on Friday, October 14th. You can watch it in so many different ways. Should be really cool. 3-star banger for both Eric and Bruce.